Okay, it looks like we're going to be going on a hunt. I was hoping to have picked up, the axe or something by now. I was hoping to maybe have some blinding dust, but unfortunately, I have none of that. Right, we have a lantern. We have withering dust, which is good for plants. We have a rope, but that's kind of it. We have some stinking ointment. A troll bone tablet. We just have some junk, honestly. But anyway, hopefully we can get through this with no problems. We do have our health. Shall I chow down on a bit of food before I leave? Oh, I have no rations. Oh, I spent them over the night. I forgot. Okay, we're in trouble. I have no money and no food. Right, I have everything we need. Let's hunt while it's still early. Ilan clasps his hands. Then we're going. Idiot, take care of the horse. He then nods towards the man with one hand. Ilan puts proudly a rope and bag on his shoulders, while Svi shoves everything under his black cloak. They gather by the gate and mock their companion as he toddles towards the lake with an empty bucket. I grab what I've maybe have used from my bags and scratch Adamain's neck. The air is fresh, just as it was in the tavern. The light touches the road and shrubs, blocked only by a single willow, wild and trimmed. You're by a lake, too large for you to see its other bank, but there are only a few trees on the horizon. While the struggling bushes and grasses fight with layers of rocks, Svi mentions that while the soil here is poor, one can still find plenty of berry shrubs around. I would like to find some berry shrubs, please, because I need food. Ellen points at the grey rabbit clearing in the fir near the brook. Clearing its fur near the brook. Noticing your gaze, it hops towards the nearest shrub. Right after it sinks into leaves, you hear it squeal, cut off quickly. Oh dear, shouts the large man while his companion starts to laugh. Caught between two stones. You wait for a long minute with a hand on your axe, but the creature doesn't return. Don't worry, friend, says Ilan. Just don't follow its lead. Carrying your belongings on your own is surprisingly tiring, and you make noises with every turn. You relax a bit, then turn toward the stone statue of a young woman. I approach it. Such a monument would be a better fit for a temple or a rich city folk's house. Here, without any cover, it's already losing its shape from the rains and dust. Chunks of the face and hair have already broken off. It has detailed eyes and human-like proportions, and the clothes are like fabric petrified by a spell. The statue carries a usual travelling equipment, a walking staff, a gambeson, simple pants now covered by leaves. It's a nice thing, isn't it? Ilan thunders behind you. It's older than our home. It's a shame to see it deteriorating, or I look at the pedestal, maybe someone left something here valuable. Yeah, I'm going to look at the pedestal. I need everything I can take. You dismount and approach the bushes covering the legs and the pedestal. You see some old wooden balls, as well as rocks. You try to push the leaves away, but their stems are thick and healthy, crowded with insects and spiderwebs. Until you remove the thicket, you won't be able to see if there's anything worth stealing. Thankfully, there are no thorns, and the touch of a leaf doesn't make your fingers itchy. Svi chuckles. What? Looking for offerings? It's not stealing. An abandoned statue needs no gifts. So, do you know who this is? The bushes are covering its legs. We could clean this place a bit, reveal them, or we should move on. Do you know who this is? Nah, Ilan is more focused on the fish breaking through the surface of the lake. It's old and the woman is a stranger. I heard no stories of it. My ma could. Let's see what's on its legs. Look, what for? Svi narrows his eyes. Let it to someone who cares. We have things to do. Alright, we'll move on. I do have withering dust and it seems like a decent use of it. Alright, let's not linger, says Ilan as he walks down the road. Alright, we move forwards. What if that had been a person that has been petrified, though? Okay. The valley is flanked by the hills. Only in the west, the grasses and bushes blend into the horizon and turn into another part of the forest. Where am I on the map, by the way? Oh, I'm down here. Ah, okay. On the foraging grounds. The southern hills are grey and tall with fortress-like rock faces and a crown of conifers. The northern ones have countless sand-coloured rocks lumped together with piles of rubble and clay, bearing hardly any soil or weeds. The plants here are struggling. The grass is short and yellowish, sometimes dried out. The bushes have silver leaves, like many plants from sunny areas. The mushrooms can't hide in the shadows, but as you approach one, you see it's growing from the remains of a dead bird. While others are covering old branches and other plants. They won't last much longer. Ellen points east at the large bird at the edge of the horizon, which freezes in the middle of a step and turns its orange head in your direction. See? Time to get ready. Right, what's the plan? Well, avoid the beak and the legs, and the trample. He pauses, inspecting the loop at the end of his rope. And don't hurt it if you don't have to. We don't want it to be a bother. Zvi jauntily drops his belongings in the middle of the road and jumps in place, rhythmically breathing. After he takes off his black cloak, he reveals a set of fancy clothes made of black leather. Okay, did Zvi think we were up to something else? He's being a leather daddy right now? Clothes of a sneaky adventurer. Okay, sure. It charges like a moron. Be nimble, that's all. 1 or 2 ropes in the neck and we're halfway home, but don't let it pass you by, aye? I'll stay alive and you'll do the rest, or should I also take a rope? I can throw it at the bird and pull it once it gets behind me. Sure, that seems sensible. I don't know, friend, says Ilan. Roping isn't easy. Don't be too reckless, we don't have magic on our hands. And we can't buy another Roadwarden as his companion, so don't make this bird trade for us. I wait for him to get to the side of the valley and approach the bird. It's taller than Shadowmane with a wide breast and long, thick, partially feathered legs that could easily trample your chest. Its thighs are thick and powerful. The pointed beak could swallow your entire forearm. Your steps are getting slower. I look around nervously at the foragers in position. I need to calm myself down and focus on my breath. I try to speak confidently. How's it going? Can you just, maybe, wait patiently in place so my companions can nicely tie you up? Once you get to the pen with us, you'll have all the rats and pigeons you can eat. Or I beat my chest with a fist and let out a shout. I won't die to some stupid bird. I feel like batting my chest is an unbelievably bad idea. Do we know anything about... Who were you called, anyway? He's a runner, right? Yeah. Don't fight hungry. Have a decent jacket? Yeah. Something to block the bird's charge. Oh, and a spear. I have none of these things. Okay, brilliant. So we want to keep it in position. So I'm going to look nervously, I guess, at the foragers in position. At a quick glance, they are rushing ahead to outpace your walk. They stay silent, not drawing too much attention to themselves. Though they can't vanish into thin air and the creature observes them carefully. They are an experienced team, understanding each other without words. Their confidence cools your soul. Soon the bird is surrounded by your group, and the pond behind it blocks its path to escape. Once it realizes that, it speeds up, charging in your direction. I take a good look at the monster, why not? It's tall, wide with a massive head, with its feathers torn by the wind. They are vividly brown, white, and creamy, long than your handspan, coating the creature like a cape. By the way, this thing is charging me while I'm just giving this description. Its steps are heavy and deliberate. The neck, as long as a limb, keeps moving around, sometimes staring at you, but with a single black pupil surrounded by deep orange. The light grey beak resembles the leaves of the local plants. The tip is curved, pointy, and in no way smooth. It carries dozens of grooves, maybe a sign of old age, or maybe a trace of hundreds of hunts. I tried to find its weak spot. It's just a huge duck. No. A respectable opponent. I may be forced to kill it after all. Absolutely not. Or am I even ready to face it? You know what? Let's use all our knowledge. It's just a big duck, right? Okay. It waits no more. It raises its head and makes a long, piercing screech, which fills up the entire valley. The feathers on its neck are shaking, but also waving, moved by the muscles. It then flaps its wings and lunges forward, still shouting, charging it with full force. Hey, I don't have a potion that can help me here. Who would have thought it? I keep my distance and dodge when necessary. I should try to rope it. I hold my ground, make a quick dodge, and grapple the bird. I'm going to keep my distance and dodge when necessary. Also, I can say I can't win. Once it charges me, I roll away, giving it a chance to run away. The giant feet are pounding the ground, with every leap scuffing up clouds of leaves and sand. It lowers its long neck, pointing it at you, like one would a spear. You do your best to find balance between running to safety, jumping away from the beak, and staying close to hold the bird's attention. Its reflexes are so quick that you can't imagine doing all this while also trying to strike back. Yet the creature doesn't find a way to land a hit, and observes you with respect. It turns around but stops in place when it sees your companions. It looks at you again, preparing for the next charge. I'm going to keep my distance and dodge again. You do your best to find balance between running and safety. Okay. So we can't imagine doing that and striking back. Finally, you're lucky. The creature doesn't find a way to land a hit and observes you with respect. It turns around but stops in place. Okay, I'm actually not progressing at all doing this. I feel like I'm making some dice rolls here, and I'm getting lucky, but it's not doing anything for me. And are my companions actually doing anything? Let's try and rope it. The creature pays attention to your movements, and once the rope flies towards it, it steps away, then moves into a charge. Preparing the rope for the next attempt will take some time. We'll also put you in a vulnerable position. I better roll up the rope again, even though the creature will use its time to counter me. Can I dodge again? Oh my god, it's just doing the same thing. Who would have thought it? Okay, I honestly don't know if I can get the rope back again. Am I going to grapple the bird? I'm going to grapple the bird. You wait to duck at the very last moment. In the blink of an eye, you show up to the beast's side, pressing your shell to its large chest. Too large for you to wrap your arms around it, you try to avoid the massive legs, but the monster turns out to be as confused as you are, making an angry screech and trying to shake you off. The feathers are scratching your cheeks and getting in your mouth. Once the bird gets rid of you, it runs east, not aware that it only helps your companions. That's when the loop lands on its neck, tightening quickly, and V shouts cheerfully. The bird remains silent, maybe already out of breath. But then it dashes forward, so fast you can't help but step back. It either doesn't understand the danger involved in moving in its situation, or doesn't care about it. It runs forward trying to flee. It makes 2 5 jumps. You hear Ilan swear. Without looking at him, you know that he let go of the rope. I need to stop the bird before it runs away. I grab the loose rope and pull it with all my strength. I am not a strong person. I stand in its way, and once it gets close, I try to catch it. I have to block its path and hope I won't get trampled to death. Or, sorry, I may not be able to stop it, but I can charge it with my axe, better dead than gone. Or I can't face the beast, let it escape. Oh my god, this is like a comedy western situation. Do I want to grab the rope and get dragged along and just, you know, I'm just going to get rubbed across the earth, aren't I? I'm going to be grazed all over. But I feel like if I do this, I feel like I can't lose anymore. As in, like, I can't let this thing go. I don't have the money to do this. I have to succeed. Grab the loose rope. You dash forwards, barely reaching the pulled rope, and start to roll it back with your hands. You plant your feet on the convenient rock, then pull, felling the bird on its side. But its strength and weight knocks you down as well. It tries to get up, but you keep pulling, fighting against its muscular neck and legs. Ilan comes to the rescue. It's now 2 against 1, and the beast can't make much of a step. As the sphere ropes it with yet another loop, the battle is over. The bird staggers, trying to keep its head straight until exhausted falls to the ground. Time to regroup. The bird keeps trying to find a way out, but with little luck. Once it regains a bit of strength, it charges at you, but after just 2 leaps, it gets stopped by the second rope. It regains its voice, screeching at its tormentors, but there's something more hidden behind its previous threat and anger. Maybe pain, maybe contempt. A damn good job, thunders Illin. He starts to laugh. You were jumping around like a monkey. You've got some legs. Shag me! I missed my throw of the rope, asks Svi loudly, gasping for breath after a long run. Though he keeps smiling with pride. At least the second try worked out. The bird is damaged, and that's all that matters, I'm not at our prey. We should go. If anything tries to get to us, we'll struggle to keep the bird on the rope. No, good teamwork. You deserve your coins. Illin taps his pouch, but doesn't pull out any dragons. Let's move on. The sooner we get back, the better. The other forager lets you know that he's ready. The runner is still far away, held on the taut rope. I gather my belongings and lead the men north, chit-chatting about our hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've succeeded. Every few minutes, the runner tries to get away. And even though it's exhausted, you have to move slowly, paying attention to its steps. The foragers seem to know what they're doing, and at no point do you feel threatened by the creature. You keep looking around, but the other beasts seem to stay away. At one point you notice a blue wolf amongst the shorter grasses, but it only observes you in silence, standing on all paws as if it's ready to run away. Your anxious companions fall quiet, but you keep moving forwards. In the middle of your journey, you think about Shadowmane. During your stroll, everything seems taller, and the creatures you pass by feel more real, as if they're no longer just shadows for you to leave behind. Being on the road without it feels lonely. I feel vulnerable, as if I'm inviting predators to chase me. What matters even more is that I don't have most of my stuff. I'm unprepared for any threats. Honestly, I just feel lonely without Shadowmane. $5 gold coins. Foggy observes you from the top of the stairs, with the hand resting on her stomach. Well done, dears. She grins at the sight of the runner. Tether it close to the water, love. She looks at you. Be nice and head to the creeks today or tomorrow, will you? Tell Efren we're coming to give you a bone for the message. She glances at the man with one hand, as she scowls at the beast. Before she enters the door, she smiles at her son. Once you're done, wash your hands and come for dinner. Tell me everything. Tethering the creature to a beam takes a few minutes. Illin's gasping for air, leaning on his knees, while Svi keeps his posture straight. His red face betrays him. Well, says the tall man, I have your dragons here. Thanks for your work, friend. The ring-shaped bones are covered in his sweat. Shadowmane is drinking from the lake. What a success. Foggy, I believe you have some meals for me. Thank you. So we have 2 meals left. We just had something that we wanted to ask Foggy about. Oh, statue. There are many places you could call that, dear. What is it actually called? Statue of a woman. The statue of a woman. That old girl from Gale Rocks told me it's the Wanderer. A spirit who looks after travellers. She's centuries old, the spirit, not the statue, and needs gifts. Just a bit of this and that, to pay her for her own food and shelter. At her feet one should spare an apple, a dragon bone, or even a pretty pebble. Those who skimp on her will one day be in need, and will see a woman with a staff on the horizon, too busy with her own struggles to help them. Foggy frowns, moving the scars on her forehead. But how do we know what these travellers saw? Beats me. Alright, thanks a lot. Okay. See you later, Foggy. So you want me to go to... Go outside. You want me to go to the creeks, I guess. You know what? Let me go to the Wanderer statue. Oh, I should also go get my fish. Shoot, I forgot about my fish. Loud toads are sitting on the bank. Some of them observe you with large, round eyes, ready to hide in the water. The statue is left to itself, with its purpose forgotten. Oh, I can use withering dust to get rid of the bushes! Nice. You tether the Shadowmane to the tree, letting it choose between drinking, grazing, and napping. You prepare your equipment, keeping an eye on the bush where you saw the rabbit's last moments. You put on your gloves, use your weight to move the plants to one side and spread the dust beneath them. With a wooden bowl. You draw water from the brook and sprinkle it on the poison. You don't need to wait long, the yellow smoke shows up immediately, so as you step away covering your nose and mouth. The sizzling bush starts to wriggle, or wiggle even, losing its twigs and leaves. In less than a minute, you throw the plant to the river. After repeating this for a few minutes, you finish the job with your axe. Listen, do we have the cost statements for these chemicals? Was it safe to, aquatic life for me to dispose of this inside the river? I'm not sure about it. A couple of old offerings are still on the pedestals. Polished rocks, bone figurines, and mouldy balls and plates used to store food. In one vessel you see a dragon bone. It's dark and could be older than a generation, but it would surely be accepted by any merchant. I'll leave it. You know what? Let's make an offering. I would like some protection, please. I place a single coin on the pedestal. Right, where are my traps? Let's see if the fish traps have any luck. Sadly, you're too late. Your capture's already starved to death and is now being eaten by dozens of little creatures. You open the lid and pour its contents out into the lake. I set the trap again. God damn it. That's my fault. I forgot completely that I'd done it. Oh, I can't go back to the White Marshes right now because the creepers have closed the path again. Alright, let's go to the creeks then. Ella and Ephraim are on the bridge discussing something as they look at the flowing clear stream. They welcome you politely and ask about your day. I have some good news for you. I helped the boys from Foggy catch a large bird that will soon be brought here. While you try to stay to the point, Ephraim is full of energy. He asks about every detail from the animal's size to the way it acted in combat. Your brief answers are met with shouts, echoed by the silent bounce of the wolf's head. It was a brave venture. I'm glad they didn't try it without you. Ella gestures for the hunter to drop it. Thank you for giving us time to prepare. I was also told to ask for one dragon bone. Aye, of course. The carpenter looks around. Pay for the messenger, just give me a minute. He scurries away as quickly as his thick legs will allow him. We don't carry dragons with us, the hunter explains. So how large is the beak? Something like this? He demonstrates the size with his hands and for a few minutes showers you with questions. Finally, the dragon bones find a place in your hands. I'll get to preparation soon, concludes Ella, gasping for air and leaning against the railing, while Ephraim lopes away apparently to prepare the animal pen. I've never heard of this word lopes either. Actually, no I have. Okay, I know what it means. As there's no time to waste, just an unusual word I guess. The carpenter invites you to follow him to his working station. What do you think about Ephraim? He gives you a surprised look. I care for him deeply. He's brave and has a big heart. But both of our paths were rough. I don't think you need to hear about them. Alright, he doesn't trust me enough. Right, see you later. I don't think I have any other use here right now, correct? She doesn't have room for rent. She has a fish trap, which I've already bought once, and a roast chicken. You want to know about the Eastern Camp, and you want to know about the hunters. Okay. Right. This means I think the next job for me to do, I want to go to the East Path. Reluctantly, I want to go to the East Path. I still not quite decided what I want to do with this magic stone either. It's going to be worth potentially 10 gold coins for me. But I feel like I might be able to get more than 10 gold from getting into Old Pagos. And I feel like I would rather not restrict access to that. So ideally I would like to get a second one. I think I'll go and try and get the second one first. Just in case this Beholder needs two. Also I need to get away past the rock slide. How long to the path to the north? No, sorry, 7 hours. Well, that's where we're going. The guards are close to the gate looking at you with curiosity. One of them speaks. We're closing, Roadwarden. Better come inside. I get off my horse and enter the inn. Sitting beneath an open window, 3 guards are arguing about something, but an ease attention with friendly banter. The innkeeper is sitting behind the counter contemplating an empty mug. So, you again. Need anything? Any leftovers? Yep, you're lucky. I was planning to give it to the boar. He goes to the stove and in a couple of minutes prepares you a meal. Here. You see all toasted bread and a large slice of mouflon cheese. Honestly, after 8 hours or so on the road and a hunt, that's probably delicious. While you're eating, he asked if you need anything else, and it also filled me fully back up. I bring some news from old Pagos. The villagers were stricken by a plague. He sighs and puts his muscled arm on his head and asks you about the state of the village and the symptoms you know of. After a short conversation, he observes the counter. I was planning to get in touch with those stonecutters. Thank you for bringing me the news. Let's hope they can make it until spring. About Glossy's band. He wants me to get the answer from Howler's Den. I've still not got that. You want to talk about people? That's all I need. What have you got to buy? He doesn't want anything of mine. What have you got? An elk fur? A crossbow for 32. Honestly, give me some rations. You can buy more tomorrow. I feel really susceptible without them. I'm fairly happy with some rations now. Still have 4 coins. Very nice. So is there anyone I want to talk to this guy about specifically I didn't want to talk to Foggy about? I don't really think so. Actually, I guess... Let me talk to you about Glaucia. I've met her more than once. She's older than me, wrinkled, tanned. I don't know how she survived for so long. I've heard she's from the coast. I don't really know her story. She's strong though and convincing. She wanted to move her band to Pelt, make huts in the courtyard. When I told her to leave, she didn't make a scene or anything. But her face, it was chilling. He looks at the stove, and she may want revenge. Glaucia is a cruel soul in a scary shell. Okay, this gives me a bit more context then that everyone else has been like going, oh, Glaucia is fine, but this guy is kind of like slighted her, I suppose. Okay. I think I sleep here then. So I can rent a room, which gives me some nice wash tubs of soap as well. Okay. I'm spending the money quickly, but my appearance is 0. You hear a thunderous roar. You rise to your feet and rub the sleep from your eyes. The doors are opening, people are shouting orders and words of warning. As you open the window, you see what's behind the commotion. Something is on the other side of the wall, trying to get through. And the guards are fighting it off with their torches, spears and crossbows. Thanks to their light, you see the large furry paws placed on top of the wall walk. As far as you can tell, the beast is but a single leap away from getting inside. It's not their first night, they know what they're doing, or I need to help them. We should help them. We are the Roadwarden. You look for your gambeson and blade, still a bit foggy in your thoughts, and once you find them, you struggle to get inside the jacket. As your habits kick in, you see the innkeeper right in front of you, holding a candle. You're a guest. Stay here. He says without a shadow of hesitation. My team has no time to worry about outsiders. Just after his words, you hear the cheerful laughter from the wall. Judging by the way they point their fingers and lower the weapons, the beast is fleeing. Well, I shouldn't expect people to need my help all the time. Oh, if I'd been there, maybe we could have caught it now. We shouldn't expect people to need my help all the time. That's fair enough. But also, I think it's understandable that I would, get into gear, just in case they couldn't handle it. Okay. Oh, who was the other person I wanted to talk about? Oh my god, I completely mind blanked. There was someone I wanted to talk about. Was it Dahlia, was she called? Where's my journal? Where are my quests? Here they are. Actually, do I have humans? Is it Dalit? Yeah. Dalit knew stuff about. Hang on a minute. Dalit. Oh, Dalit. Why do you ask? I've noticed since she was a girl, so you better not bother if you're looking for a master of the crossbow. She's an obvious pick. Right. Is she outside? Where is the armourer? I'm looking for a few hunts from the creeks. Vashkal, Dahlia, Agman with a hair. I don't know those names. She looks at her companions, and while they're someone who claims to have met them, he has nothing to say about them. She then glances at the boar, which is now very interested in the smell of your boots, and giggles. It's a long way from here to Creeks. I mostly spoke with Ephron. Have you met him? Sure, he's a nice guy. Dalit, right? Oh, she giggles to cover her confusion. Are you asking me out? I ain't interested in silliness. She brushes away the hair from her forehead. The tangled chaos all over her scalp cares not for her efforts. Hey, I've got some powder for that. Well, yeah, half my life ago I was living on crops, but I bet I shot down more monsters than you've broken eggs. Are you much of a fighter? Many more eyes turn toward you. I don't fight when I don't have to. Hard to say I'd rather have friendly blades on my side. If you live as a traveller, you face enemies, not really an option. I fight to protect others, that's my job, or there's something pleasing in triumph. I don't fight when I don't have to. While Dalit starts to look around, the guards get back to their own affairs. I can't say I see many folks seeking blood, but who knows what are good reasons to kill. Self-defense, filled belly, coins for medicine. If you don't have the will to fight, I don't think the roads here are good for you. After a short pause, she steps toward the noisy boar. These roads are for loons and deer legs. I met Ilyn, he says hi. She looks up, twirling her hair, and she thinks, I'm sorry, who? Foggy's son. She gives you a beaming smile. Ah, so that's his name! His accent is so thick I kind of misheard it, forgive me. How is he doing? You gossip about the man and his companion, and a couple of the hunters join in your conversation, asking about the Eastern Road, the tavern, and travelling in general. A good couple of minutes is spent on discussing fashion in creeks. Some of the hunters regret not being used to wearing leather and furs, while others are convinced that linen is more convenient. And if you're cold, just put on a cloak, says a woman with a bandage on her neck. After some time, the guards walk away, leaving me with Dalit and the napping boar. I was foraging for berries with the innkeep. That was many, many moons ago, like 9 days ago. So I've heard, don't worry about it, usually we forage by ourselves, but he wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time, just see who agrees to do them, wants to judge who's of use and who's proud. Too proud for their own good. I have some questions about this place. Why can't I do anything to question her? Viruses. That's an unusual tower. It's expected to be closer to the gate and shorter. Sure. Like in Hovleven, fair. But it ain't here to protect the gate. This stronghold was built long before we moved in, and not to fight off humans. The tower is meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. We look out for fires, dragons, and any winged creatures that are looking to roost on our roof. Baldy, she nods towards a man who indeed is completely bald, has a great eye and sees even well in the darkness. Have you heard anything about the necromancers? It's something new. Her voice lowers to a whisper. I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there south. They told us that the place has changed too much. A priest died, I think, and a new one awakens the dead. Sorry, Roadwarden, that's all I know. If she's hiding something, she sure sounds convincing. What do you really hunt for? Anything we can eat or sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain. But when we move as a group, we look for something larger. Deers and aurochs are delicious. But we don't always look for taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, tusks. Things people use to make tools or sculptures. We use some of them to make tools and spears. You can never have enough spears. She pauses and looks at a strand of her hair, then suddenly speaks up again. And we look for furs, of course. Anything interesting creatures living nearby? Ha, here? Everything lives here, she flips her hair. I swear we saw a few dragons. A unicorn family, a battle between trolls and goblins. Faced 2 beastmen. Oh, and a gargoyle. And a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you about them, but I won't. She winks and pats the boar on its head. You know, hunters have their secrets. You seem to be attached to this boar. How could you not be? She crouches and raises the boar's head, but it steps away and squeals as if someone's murdering it. It came with us from the city, just in case. We had no clue how our first winter would go, so we need some backup meat. And it works too. Cleans the dirt. She reaches out to the beast again, but it trots away. The woman straightens up with a pleased sigh. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly, kind of like ibexes. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast. But we don't let it get too close to other animals, or children. And what can I find north of here? I'm sorry, we don't really go to those regions. We stay close to home. Only sometimes move south or west to Howler's Dell, but only to trade. They're fine with buying more than they need since they then take west to the coast. She takes a long breath, twirling her hair and gathering her thoughts. You know what? I've never seen a beach, and I've been living here for many more than 10 years now, she giggles. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. She looks towards another huntress who confirms that her experience is the same. But Old Pagos is a good place, as long as you don't mock their order and act nice. They'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them, but at least they don't bite without reason. Well, I hate to tell you this, they might bite without a reason right now. They may be turning into zombies, we don't know that. How about some axe throwing? No, I'm not going to bet on that, because I think I'm going to lose. I'm looking for knowledge about wild creatures. I told you our knowledge is valuable. I don't know. She looks at the boar, which seems to be obsessed with a clump of grass growing next to the wall. 15 dragons! No less. Is there a discount for friends? Well, depending on the friend. She gives you a radiant smile. Let's say 13. If it's too much for you, maybe ask me after you spend some time around. Show us what you're capable of, or play dice with us when you have an hour to spare. These folks here, she starts to whisper and points with a thumb at the guards behind. They crave gossip. I smile. Come on, it'll be fun. Ellen told me you love to talk about beasts. She giggles. Oh, don't you say such a thing. You make me sound like an old lady. I'm still a hunter, not a talker. She winks at you. Fine, 11. Alright, see you later. I needed to take that all the way down to 3. Okay. Where is your armourer? I guess it's first thing in the morning. I'm as clean as I can get. Alright. Oh, I see how the cleaning system works now. I understand. I mean, I could go to Julia's camp while I'm here, I suppose. It's only 45 minutes away. Sure, let's go back to where it all began. Julia welcomes you with a smile. Is everything alright? The camp is silent. The soldiers hold their mugs, but don't even chat, lowering their heads from exhaustion. They seem exhausted. Oh my god. Guess what? I met with Caius. You mentioned the tavern and Foggy's care. Julia sighs with relief and rests a hand on her sides. Alive. That's good to hear. Deserter or not, how's he doing? He's a man of faith now, kind of. He's insane. The people around him tried to put him to good use. His soul is healing, even if slowly. I think we go with that one. You describe what you've seen, making a reach behind the head and take a deep breath. Guess I ought to be a bit less angry thinking about my squad. Though that's quite a request, she chuckles. I'm so glad he found kindness in this land. I wish he didn't have to look for it though. Did you ever enter the roads leading through the heart of the woods? Oh, we were advised not to. Have you seen this huge gate in the west, made of rocks, very tall? We've met a guard there named Quinton, maybe. A kind soul, but a bit slow. He almost begged us not to enter the woods, so he took a longer route. That's where all the settlements are anyway. The companion chips in. We didn't miss much. I see. Have you ever encountered the bandits in the north? She lets out a sad sigh. So there are other bandits in the woods after all. The companion hits his forehead with his palm. This peninsula really hates us. We can't make a dent in its shell. Julia puts a hand on his shoulder, then looks behind you. Thanks for telling us, Roadwarden. If I survive long enough to report it to someone, I'll be sure to mention it. Maybe I should learn more about them first. Sure, good luck with that, the man with the bird chuckles. Do you have any idea what happened to the ruined village in the west? Nah, there were goblins around the wall, so we never went there. But I was told that the wrath of the herds crushed it, maybe 10 years ago. The companion agrees with a nod. If there are any survivors, they are surely gone now. Alright, maybe they moved to other settlements or left the peninsula. Were there any hunters from the north passing by your camp recently? Not from the north, not from the south. She lets out a weak chuckle. I didn't expect this place to be that desolate at this time of year. You're the only soul we've seen in days, unless you count beast folk. Well, it was worth a shot. Unless they're from creeks, I don't. I don't understand the second option. It was worth a shot. Alright, you know what? Thanks a lot. Oh, I put the barrel with water? Oh, I'm as clean as I can get. Tremendous. Oh, I'm just ready to go. Sure. I guess this means I'm gonna have to head along the eastern path, which is very spooky. My only other thought is I go in on this crossroads. I think this is where the gate is. But I'm not going to go across the middle anyway, so I think I'm going to leave this for now. I could have also gone through the foraging grounds. But again, this goes dangerously close to this eastern path, which I'm very, very worried about. I kind of wish I had the blinding gas, but we don't. So I think I'll deal with this on the next episode. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe, everything helps me out, and I'll see you next time when we go on the eastern path. Goodbye.